I hope you get something out of these videos. I spent several days just going through stuff and redoing stuff. I only want the truth, and I am not, even if these people, which obviously they are New Agers, and they teach a different gospel than Jesus Christ, that still doesn't mean that they're not right about what they're talking about in this scenario. So, one more time, I want to reiterate that I am not judging these people or saying they're bad. I'm just giving you some information, because information control is mind control. So I'm just giving it to you for free if you didn't already know it. How to spot a fake guru or spiritual teacher. That's where my expertise comes in. And I know some of you guys don't believe that. That's okay. But I've been very up close and personal with this. How do you know if Guru's grace is upon you? Guru, everything you need to know. Is a guru necessary for enlightenment? How do I find a guru? Can I have 2 gurus? Okay, y'all have a good day. Illuminati 3, Satanic Possession by Henry Makow, Ph.D. There is only one conspiracy. Some prominent anti-vaxxers may have Masonic ties. The Academy of Divine Knowledge appears to be a Masonic organization whose teachers and associates include prominent anti-vaxxers David Icke, Judy Mikovits, Del Bigtree, Alex Zeck, Dr. Christine Northrup, Dr. Carrie Madej, and RFK Jr. I'm not saying these people are bad, any of them. You know, everybody makes mistakes in their lives. Everybody's deceived at some time. And I'm going to show some pictures in here of Dr. David Martin, who I have always highly respected and used him in my, some of my videos and stuff. I ran across this article and I went to his wife's Facebook page and put some of her comments and stuff in here. I haven't gone really deep into this, but I just wanted to share what I did find. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just sharing this information. I'm not making any final judgments or anything like that. It's not my place to judge anyone. It is all of our place as the followers of Jesus Christ to test the spirits, to see if they're from God or not, to check the fruit. What are the fruit? What fruit are these trees producing? Because he said, you shall know them by their fruits. And usually one of my first questions that I ask is, are they looking for money? And the second one is connections. Who do they hang out with? Because Jesus made it clear that believers should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. That doesn't mean we can't be friends and stuff like that. It just means that you don't yoke up together, because if you're a team and you're unequally yoked, one's going to pull one way and one's going to pull the other. It just never works. So I'm not condemning anybody's religion, whether it's New Age or Catholicism or Islam or anything else. I have no problem with what people believe. I personally am a follower of Jesus Christ and his teachings of love your neighbor, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. So I'm just going to show, let this go for a minute while I'm talking. But I don't know who this guy is, Henry Makow. But this is what it's about. And I didn't read the whole thing because my voice just gives out after a while, so I hope, you can take the time to read it. I talked about, this, and then I gave a couple of examples, one being Robert Kennedy, and, some of his things that he went through in college and stuff that I'd never known. It was interesting. about his ex-wives, his ex-girlfriends, and kind of, stuff that teenage boys go through. Kind of probably embarrassing for him at this point. He was a pretty nice-looking kid. Just a little bit about his life, Not trying to judge anybody. And he may be a completely different person now. He seems to be. And, you got to look at how he was brought up as well. So people make mistakes. They do things. So this is not about, just trying to pick on Robert Kennedy Jr. Anyway, that I'm putting that in here, and just want to remind people that these are human beings. They're not gods. And people are making gods, little g gods, out of men. Trump, on the other side, Fauci and Biden and all these people, that's their gods. And the biggest god right now is the snake bite, but this is not what this is about. The second person I'm doing, I'm covering in this is DrDavidMartin. And I still have a lot of respect for him. I don't know what his heart's motives are and stuff. These are some pictures, I guess, from when they first got married. And if you notice, he has the all-seeing eye on his arm. That's one thing I wanted to point out. They're saying that because of that, it shows he's a Freemason. I don't, look at it that way, because my daughter has one of those on her neck, and I know she's not a Freemason. And then there he is doing the hand signal, the 666. But to him, it may just mean okay. So, but you've really been seeing a lot of that. So I'm not judging him. I'm just showing you some things. And then there's his wife's Facebook page. And, she talks about him and stuff. They seem like they're really in love and all that, and that's awesome. I guess she's an Aussie. So I don't know if that's where they live, or what. Like I said, haven't gone any deeper. But I would like to address this all-seeing eye thing, Egyptian. I spent many years studying ancient Samaria with Zechariah Sitchin, and I've, got all of his books and everything, and I learned a lot. And now I'm really happy that I did, because it's helping me understand some of this other stuff. The other thing about this all-seeing eye, if you look at it, a cross-section of the brain, at the pineal gland, or the pineal gland, however you pronounce that. It's like a pine cone, a little pine cone. That's why everybody has those pine cones, because even scientists say that section of the brain is the God spot. It's the spiritual center of our bodies. And even God said that, our bodies were his temple. Our heart was his throne. And it seemed like Bill Gates, kind of had an agenda to do something to get rid of that pineal gland. One thing is through fluoridated water, because it literally turns it to stone. It's good for your teeth, makes them hard, but it also makes your pineal gland hard, calcified. But I'm not going to get into that. I've done videos on that before on BitChute, but so I'll let you just take this for what it is. This is from Sasha Stone's, one of his website that had to show the eye. These were just some photos that I had. That's the Kabbalah. I just found out that Donald Trump, is a Kabbalist. And I knew that Jared Kushner and Ivanka, his daughter, are Kabbalists. And Kabbalism is not good. It's very bad. It's Helena Blavatsky, and Theosophy and, Nazism. That's where Hitler, he followed Helena Blavatsky And she was a Luciferian Satanist that believed that, well, she actually is right, because the Bible says that Satan is the god of this world, and that's who they worship. I could say a whole lot more about that, but I'm going to stop now, and I don't want this to be too awful long. But I hope you get something from this. There's that two-headed snake. Actually, that's two snakes, I guess. And the ascended masters that General Flynn talked about. The hand signals, Masonic hand signals. So I don't know what all this means. I know that, that's kind of, I've done some on Sasha already. I don't know, does they use it in cartoons? The all-seeing eyes everywhere. Moloch. I swear my venom is safe and effective. Oh, it's sad. So I know that people can make a religion out of anything. I've never needed anything but Jesus Christ, because he has never let me down one time. I could go back over my life and write a book of miracles, and not the Book of Miracles, because that was another New Age cult course, the Course in Miracles. Yeah, I read that too. So God bless you all, and take this with a grain of salt and do some more research. I'd like to know what you have to say about it. God bless you. website of Dr. David Martin and his wife, Kim Martin. I just thought I would find out what this is all about. Fully live, intransitive verb, essential meaning of fully live, to be completely alive, to creatively dance with the infinite. Welcome, friends. Thank you for visiting the Fully Live Academy, where you will find courses by Dr. David E. Martin. Some of these are the same courses offered at the Fully Live workshops hosted by David and Kim in their home. Others are courses David has presented in various settings. Integral Foundations by Kim and David Martin. Buy for $350. This course is the groundwork for seeing the world in 6 dimensions. Embark on a journey with David and Kim. Well, this one you can buy for $850. So each course has a different price tag. Integral Accounting. Go from 3D to 60 in seconds with this exciting course. Transformation is moments away. Just think, if 100 people buys this course for $850, I believe that's $85,000. That's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. Attune to the energy frequency that brought you to this moment using gratitude. This all sounds really nice, but it leaves God out of it. If that's what you want, then so be it. I can't imagine my life without God. And God is love. So when they talk about love, they say we are love. I am love. The Bible says God is love. And if we're living in God, then we're love too. So, it can be pretty interesting. You are an auspicious light moving through phases of life, at times burning bright like the sun, and at other times in the last flick of light. Combine the worldview that has shaped humanity, and we have the story to unpack. Lexicon of Source. Source has distinct qualities that we can discern and recognize. Source is persistent, generative, and infinitely orthogonal. Those may seem like big words. Fear not. We will dig into what these words mean. Light and magnetism. Both light and magnetism are defined and placed in context to help you drop into that 6D reality that is available. Experience a magnetism laboratory that demonstrates their essential nature. The why fallacy. Ever ask yourself why you are? Or why you ask why? And why do you care about the why? There seems to be an epidemic of asking why, and we will get into that how that came to be. Start seeing the world with the 6 dimensions in nature, commodity, custom, and culture. Knowledge, money, technology, and well-being. Move into the world without the laws of current thinking. Let's dance with the notion of identifying what is good for service. What is the TOV? Transformational orthogonal balance of all things around us. The time illusion. We examine when life begins, if it has a starting point, and how time and energy are integrated into the 6-dimensional value system. Integral audit. What do you have right now? Take an audit of what you have using the 6 dimensions of value. Commodity, custom, and culture. Knowledge, money, technology, and well-being. Integral Asset Management, $1,500. Teaching the fundamental principles of all-in consequence-based accounting and wealth metrics. Buy now. We'd like to have a world that worked better. We'd like to feel that our values are reflected in our daily lives and the management of our finances. But few of us take the time to understand the foundations of the systems upon which we depend and how we blindly perpetuate the very things we say we wish to see changed. Join Dr. David Martin for Integral Asset Management course. That's a pretty hefty price tag, so I would say only people who have money would be able to take it. So I'll just go down through here. I'm just following the money. To me, that's one of the number one red flags. I mean, I don't have a problem with him giving courses and teaching people stuff. I'm curious if he gets money for speaking fees like Dr. Flynn does, or General Flynn. From what I've heard, well, I heard it from Lynn Wood, so that could be questionable. That General Flynn gets $25,000 to $50,000 for every speech he gives. So I'd say it's about the money.
I can describe my Fully Live workshop experience in one word: transformative. It was by far the most profound 4 days that I've ever had. I learned so much about myself and the world, and I was given practical tools that I could implement in real time to see true change. Even just 2 weeks out of the workshop, I've had amazing things happen in both my personal and professional life, things that I don't think I ever thought would happen. During the workshop, I made lifelong friends, and the compassion and brilliance and kindness that David and Kim bring to their teaching is like no other. There's no question that attending Fully Live is one of the best choices I've ever made for myself.
Transformative. And then there's Fully Live testimonials. You can read more. The most profound piece of learning I've ever undertaken. This truly is a step towards bringing humanity back to humans. Now, I don't know what that $1,500 covers. It could be, maybe they got room and board or something. I don't know. I just want to make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from. I'm going to be judgmental or judge these people. I'm just trying to find out what their fruits are and, their motives. Is it for money? Is it for fame? I have seen some pictures online of their home, and it's a mansion. Anything anybody could possibly want, fancy clothes. But they're still asking for donations. So, of course, it's always voluntary. So, maybe what he's selling is worth it. I really don't know. But I don't need anything that comes from the New Age movement or the Luciferians or Theosophy, Helena Blavatsky. I don't need that. Jesus Christ is all I need. And I'm telling you right now, He is sufficient. God bless.
Moses led the children out of Pharaoh's hand, across the Red Sea like God had planned. Well, you think that when he opened up that mighty sea, that all the people would surely believe, but you can hear the sick, raise the dead, turn the sky from a blue to red. It don't matter what they hear or what they see. Some people, they never believe. Noah was the only man on earth that was good, so So God said, build an ark of resinous wood. Well, a lot of people laughed and called him a fool, but Noah didn't mind, 'cause he knew for sure that you can heal the sick, raise the dead, turn the sky from a blue to red. It don't matter what they hear or what they see. Some people, they never believe. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego were told that in the fireplace they must go. Well, you'd think that when the people saw they just wouldn't burn, that all the doubters would finally learn. But you can heal the sick, you can raise the dead, turn the sky from a blue to red. It don't matter what they hear or what they see. Some people, they never believe.
Merkaba symbol, sacred geometry. Merkaba, also spelled Merkaba, comes from a Hebrew word meaning chariot, a vehicle, and can also be defined also as light, spirit, body. The Merkaba symbol is a shape made of two intersecting tetrahedrons that spin in opposite directions, creating a three-dimensional energy field. You can activate this vehicle of light around your own body with practice, meditation, and breathing techniques. The Merkaba is said to provide protection and transport your consciousness to higher dimensions. The Merkaba shape reminds us of the potential power we can wield when we unite our own energies in pursuit of connection and growth. The Merkaba symbol, I can't read what's on there, but I think it's in here next. Combines opposing energies in perfect balance, masculine and feminine, earth and cosmos. This union results in an activation of light and protection around your body that can transport your consciousness to higher dimensions. This is definitely New Age. Reminds us of the potential power we yield when we find balance and raise our vibration. So I guess we're supposed to do that all by ourselves. We don't need any help. Dream it, wish it, do it. Merkaba design. Our Merkaba design takes the Merkaba shape and expands beautifully, adding the words light, body, spirit to the outer edges. We print this in a gold shimmer ink. It's just telling how they make their clothing. So I'm just going to let you read this. The New Age movement has renewed interest in these elegant and cool-looking shapes. The Merkaba, Platonic solids, and sacred geometry. The Merkaba explained in detail from lightworkers.org. Merkaba, mysticism from Wikipedia. Merkaba by Crystal Links. So I'm looking at this word Merkaba because this school that all these doctors go to, these teachers, I guess, from this school, the Academy of Divine Knowledge is what I'm talking about, that brought up this. I guess when this guy contacted them, they said that they weren't Kabbalists, they weren't Freemasons, but they did the Merkaba, and they went by that philosophy. And if you just kind of take the MER off of the front of it, it's Kabbalah, because it is Kabbalah. And that's why I did this segment right here, because I made it separate because it's really long. I doubt I'll read the whole thing, but I will probably make some comments on certain things during this time. So here at Soulflower, we combine free-spirited art and uplifting messages with eco-friendly materials to create mindfully made clothing, accessories, and gifts that help you express yourself. It's soul-affirming merch. You feel good about rocking. Express yourself with soul flower and join your buds and fellow free spirits, echo warriors, happy hippies, and kindred souls in sharing the good vibes. Be kind, be yourself, and be the change you want to see in the world. When you feel good, you do good. So sacred geometry has been defined as the blueprint for creation as well as the genesis or beginning of all form in many teachings. Countless sacred geometry patterns have existed since the evolution of the human spirit began. Sacred geometric patterns exist all around us, creating the underlying structure of the universe. And that's true. I mean, the New Age does have some good ideas, and they a lot of times sound really close to what Christ taught. But, be kind, help people. But it is really basically another communistic, I would say. I don't even know if you'd call it communistic. But, and I'm not trying to bring judgment on the whole New Age system. I can see where they get their teachings, even from the Bible. I can see where Kabbalism comes from. Because the Old Testament is a pretty shady book. The truth is in there. It's one of the most accurate history books on the face of the earth, as far as it comes to Jewish history. It's basically a history of the Jews. A lot of it. The creationism goes all the way back to ancient Samaria. There's a lot to it that I will not go into right now. I'm still figuring out a lot of things. I mean, there's just no way you can know everything. It's impossible. But I'm trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together right now. And so I'm thankful for all the things that I've studied. See, where they use these ancient symbols, Solomon in the Old Testament, he was a wise man. But he fell into the devices of Satanism, Luciferianism, with all of his, the women, all of his wives and stuff who practiced that. And he ended up totally lost cause. So all of his wisdom and none of that meant one thing, because he was not faithful to the true God. He went after other gods and allowed his wives to pull him into that. And they set up Moloch to burn their children, sacrifice their children. And Solomon was part of that. So Solomon was not a good guy in the end. He ended up lost to God. And all of his wisdom meant nothing after that. I mean, it just didn't. And I know all about all the savior gods. I've got the Masonic books. I know what they teach. I've got books I'm not supposed to have that I found at estate sales that I haven't read. But I know where the Freemasons get their ideas. And they're not all bad. I mean, like I said, that's a whole other story. And as much as I want to talk about it right now, this is already long. I just want to show you what this Merkaba is. And I know where Kabbalism came from. I can see all that because I've been a Bible student for 62 years. And I have studied Sumerian, Hebrew, Greek, Akkadian in my Bible studies and other areas. I've studied, I have a library behind me here that you can't see, but I don't know if I'll ever go live where I just sit and talk to you or something like that. It's just really not my thing. It's not that I'm trying to hide who I am or anything. It's just, I just rather communicate this way at this point. So, the Merkaba sign is rich in meaning and has intriguing mathematical characteristics. It's been utilized in spiritual and religious ceremonies as well as in decor and art since ancient times. One thing I learned many years ago, I infiltrated a satanic church and became the church photographer. They eventually gave me the keys to the church because I offered to clean the bathrooms and supply paper products. So that's part of my interloping skills. But the church used to be the church that I went to, and this other group bought the church. So our kids were still going to school there, in the church school. But I ended up finding things in the trash. I ended up getting trash, from the pastor's office that showed children tied up in ropes and being thrown into the fire that children had actually drawn. So I've never talked much about this. I've always been very undercover in these type of things that I did because it could be dangerous. So that's been a long time ago. It's been like 1991. So a little water's gone under that bridge, but I've got the evidence. And one Sunday, we went to church, and I walked in, and they had a little shelf up on the front where they put pamphlets and stuff like that. And my eye was drawn. But anyway, I looked up there, and this pamphlet really stood out to me because I had just been learning some things about, the symbols and stuff. And so I knew there was something about it that wasn't right. I still have that pamphlet. But it was, at first glance, it looks like the Star of David in a circle. But I took it home, and I of course, didn't have a computer at that time to look anything up. I got the encyclopedia and looked up the Star of David and the Seal of Solomon. And I've printed that all off. I've still got it. But it said that the Star of David is never, if you look at the Star of David on a flag, it is not in a circle. The hexagram, or Solomon's seal, is always in a circle. And besides that, the Star of David wasn't always on the Jewish flag. It was the menorah. Somewhere along the line, it changed. So it's just like with every group and every nationality. There's good people and there's bad people. And even in the Jewish religion, there's good people and there's bad people. There's sects, S-E-C-T-S, that have broken off and started their own little things, like the Noahide laws and the Kabbalah. So, like I said, I'm not judging anybody's religion. So when I talk about different groups, it's not that I'm anti-Semitic or anything like that, because I have very good friends who are Jewish, and they're Messianic Jews, and there's many good Jewish people. So that's not what this is about. This is about the bad side of everything. And it's just like in the Freemasons. I know a lot of people who, well, not a whole lot, but I know several people who are members of the Masonic Lodge, and they're good people because they don't, and you'll see as I talk about this, they don't tell them everything. They have to earn this hidden knowledge. And, they don't know, the initiates and people that go in, they don't know what's going on with the 33rd degree Masons. So, like I said, there's good and bad in everything. But anyway, I that's how blatant they were with this symbology. And just right there, the church pamphlet for that Sunday was a hexagram. And I know that they did things in that church basement, and someday I would really like to go into this. I don't know. I've got to be led to do that because some of the things that, and my husband was my wingman. He took me places that I couldn't have gone by myself, and to find various things. And some of it I turned over to authorities, but I won't go into that now. I'm just letting you know that's some of my background. I did take photographs in that church that were identified as members of NAMBLA. And I became a Sunday school teacher. I went down there. They needed somebody who didn't show up, so they needed some help. So I went down there, and those little kids were hiding under the table. But when I came down there, they flocked to me, and they just gathered around me, and because they felt safe. But that's like I said, that's a whole other story. But it ended up that church was a meeting place for the NAMBLA group, or a segment of it, and we pretty much chased them out of town. So anyway, that was my first real knowledge of the Solomon seal. A lot of this Luciferian stuff came from Solomon and his wives and what he did back then, and they used a lot of that in their religion. That's what Helena Blavatsky did. So, okay, let's go on with this. So today we're going to talk about that symbol. It's rich in meaning and has intriguing mathematical characteristics. It's been utilized in spiritual and religious ceremonies, as well as in decor and art since ancient times. Yes, it has. It is well known due to the symbol's inherent power of absolute divinity. It fills you with the energy that can bring you up to your best version. And when used to its full potential, Merkaba can truly contribute to supernatural powers. Wow, such as flying, traveling through time, interstellar travel, and much more. Now let's delve into what Merkaba is and where it came from. Then it shows some t-shirts and cups and mugs and stuff that they're selling. So it comes from Hebrew, and it translates to chariot or thing to ride in. According to the version described in the first chapter of Ezekiel, Merkaba was adopted by ancient Jewish mystics as an object of their contemplation. And as we know, the Jews were always going after false gods. Always. They were always in trouble with God. He called them stiff-necked and uncircumcised. I said something like that to my son's girlfriend the other day, and she looked at me like I was nuts. I said, it's a biblical term. The symbol was actually referenced about 44 times in the Old Testament of the Bible. To understand the meaning of the word Merkaba, you've got to break it down into three parts. The first part is Mer, the second is Ka, and the last part is Ba. Wasn't that used in Jungle Book? Ka was, yeah. Well, Mer means light, or more importantly, the divine light. Ka represents the spirit, and Ba is your body. Only when you combine the strength of the light, the spirit, and the body, you can reach a completely balanced and harmonious level that helps you channel your energy to connect to the higher consciousness. Now, that's where I highly disagree with the New Age movement, because it's all up to you. It's up to you to raise that kundalini. It's up to you to figure out how to ascend to the next level so you can eventually become a master. And that's where the teachings of the New Age movement digress from the Word of God. So how do you combine them, though? Well, imagine yourself in a deep meditative state where your spirit and body are joined together. That's one thing I never latched onto with Dr. Stephen Greer, was his meditation and all that stuff, because it's not that hard. You know, Jesus Christ, he said, bring your burdens to me and I will give you rest. You know, it's hard because we don't trust him. We have not because we ask not, and we have not because we ask amiss. So this is where I totally separate myself from the New Age movement, because it's all about what you do for yourself to become God's. That's what it's about. Now imagine that the union of the spirit and body is enclosed in a protective coating of the divine light. You don't have to do that. I mean, there's such a thing as good meditation. Depends on what you meditate on. You know, you don't meditate on perfecting yourself, because you can't. It's impossible. The Jews tried to do it for thousands of years with all their laws and all their fence laws. It never worked. It just never worked. Never did. It was a schoolmaster to bring us to Christ. I will say that. What you get through this combination is the balance created by Merkaba. Merkaba protects you and guides you. It's uplifting, harmonizing, purifying, and energizing, all at the same time. And there it is. What is the problem with that again is it's all about the Merkaba. Where is God? Where is Jesus in this? What is Merkaba symbol meaning? Okay, now you know the Merkaba's meaning. So if it's just a union of light, spirit, and body, where and how does the symbol come to the fore? Let's find out. The Merkaba sign is very much like the star, one that is made of two tetrahedrons, triangular pyramids, rotating in opposite directions. The symbol almost looks like a star, but a little bit more complicated, and that's why the symbol is sometimes called the star tetrahedron. The real symbol is also three-dimensional, so if you've just seen it on a piece of clothing, you might not be able to visualize it completely. So what is the meaning of this symbol? Hedrons are said to constantly spin in opposite directions and create a perfectly balanced energy field. The top tetrahedron represents masculine forces and rotates in the clockwise direction. The bottom is all about the female energy and rotates in a counterclockwise fashion. The two opposing tetrahedrons also represent the two opposing forces of the cosmos, the top one, and the earth, the bottom one. By consistently balancing the opposite energies, Merkaba creates a vehicle of light that allows you, spirit and body, together in the realms of higher consciousness. All I know is that Jesus has worked for me all these years. This just sounds too convoluted and way too hard. I'd rather take the yoke of Christ. The symbol also reminds you of the potential power you already have, and that there's nothing impossible to achieve once you unite your energies and bring out this true power from the depths of your soul. Paul made the statement, it is that he wanted to come to the place where it is no longer I that live, but Christ who lives in me. That's my goal. Chakra lover gifts. I had this just brought up another memory, because I visited this church one time with a friend after I got out of the cult. I looked here and there. I finally quit looking anywhere. But I went to this women's group, prayer group, and I had requested prayer for my youngest son because he was having some problems. I never asked anyone to lay hands on me or touch me or pray for me in any way. But this one woman came over and she put her hands on me without permission. And the Bible very clearly says, lay hands suddenly on no man. Don't just let anybody pray for you. Don't just let anybody touch you, because you never know when it's witchcraft. And I had witchcraft done on me that day. And I didn't understand what she was doing at the time. I was fairly new out of the cult. But she touched the 7 chakras on my body. It was so quick, I didn't hardly know what hit me, but she put her hand on my forehead and then my neck and down to my stomach. And I literally just fell. I couldn't stand up, and I just started crying. I couldn't stop crying. But it was a very unpleasant feeling. It wasn't God. And I had to go home and, pray and wash myself of that. So I've had some pretty interesting experiences. The Kundalini can mimic the Holy Spirit. Think of the Brownville revival. So even the devil can preach and pray and speak in tongues and anything else. So I'm just going to let this play for a minute because I'm talking too much. If you hear all these little noises in the background, it's my little Chihuahua Mickey. He's cleaning his fingers. That's what he does when he sits on my lap and it's time to go night-night. He licks his little paws and cleans all of his little nails, and he gets pretty noisy. And then he goes to sleep and starts snoring. So anyway, this is the flower of life that they were talking about. Got some beautiful things. It says, you may not realize it, but everyone has their own Merkaba. Your Merkaba consistently works with your soul to keep you balanced. So here's a kicker here. The Merkaba consistently works with your soul to keep you balanced. Did you know that there is a difference in the soul and the spirit? And I did a whole paper on that. It's on my website if anybody wants to read it. If I can remember, I'll put a link to it. But it tells the difference in the soul and spirit. And this is literally going through the Bible and using the actual Hebrew and Greek words. So I do it for the whole thing. I did an exhaustive study on that. But the soul is the physical part of us. The soul is the senses. The soul is your eyes that you see with, your nose that you smell with, your mouth that you speak with and breathe through, and so on. It's the soulish part of us. The spiritual part is that part that is tethered to us with the silver cord. There's a scripture that says, serve the Lord in the days of your youth, ere the silver cord is broken. So I don't know if any of you have experienced an out-of-body experience. That's something I would never actively seek, but it has happened to me, where I knew that my body was laying on the bed and I couldn't move it, but I was at the same time standing at the window. It's a really weird feeling. But there's a cord, an invisible cord that tethers our spirit to our body. And the spiritual part of us is that born again part of us, that new man, that Christ in me, the hope of glory. And that's the part that is eternal. That's the part that will never die. That's the part that Jesus was talking about when he said, fear not him who can kill the body, but fear him who can kill both soul and body in Gehenna, or hell. That was the literal fire that burned outside the city of Jerusalem in a big ravine type thing where they put all the trash and dead bodies of animals. They kept fires going 24/7. They burned trash. They didn't have a trash truck to come pick up their trash back then. So they had this, it was called the Valley of the Sons of Hinnom, or Gehenna. And that was the hell of fire. It wasn't some pit in the bowels of the earth somewhere where people go burn forever and ever. That's a lie from Dante's Inferno, created by the Roman Catholic Church to make people afraid. The Jews didn't believe in a burning hell. You won't find that in the Old Testament anywhere. Sheol, the grave, the pit. So anyway, that's what he meant. He said, fear him. Don't fear him who can just kill your body, but fear him who can kill both body and soul in Gehenna. So And then it goes on, it says, the word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword, going down to the inmost parts and separating the soul and the spirit. So the soul is the soulish realm, or the body realm, and the spirit is the born again part of us that will live forever. I just thought I'd throw that in there. So this is all about the soul here. Can you activate it? Of course you can. You can program your Merkabah so that it activates itself and guides you through the path of achieving your spiritual, physical, and mental greatness. Initially, you may have to work with an energy healer to learn certain breathing patterns that get your Merkabah spinning. Remember that the healer can only guide you, but it must be you who programs your Merkabah, because Merkabah is a very personal phenomena, and everyone's energy levels are specific to their body and spirit. To program your Merkabah, you can either ask it to take you to the reality that you want, or you can ask it to transform your body and spirit in a way that you have more acceptance of everything around you. No matter how you program it, when done consistently and correctly, your very own star tetrahedron can guide you to more blissful life and even extend the joy towards your near ones, the planet you live on, and even beyond into the whole universe. Awaken your Kundalini. That can be very dangerous. Okay, now this is Merkaba mysticism, and this is from Wikipedia, and it is very long. I did record the whole thing, but I think what I'll do from here, because I mean, it's already 1:30 in the morning, is I'm just going to put like little pointy fingers or something for things that I'd like for you to look at, and so I can get this finished.
Thank